Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today I want to do something a little bit different. This the video's kind of a pitch. Hopefully maybe a company will see this or someone will see it in high places and forward this to someone who can make this. I basically just want to talk about a pitch for a game that I would love to be made in Warhammer 40,000. Again, this is just my view. People could possibly just say it's crap. Yeah, people could say it's awesome. Let me know what you think about your pitches and stuff in the comments below. But for now, let's just jump in and let's get started. So over these past couple of years, I say around what 2-3 years now, the mentality of Games Workshop has really changed when it's come to producing its licenses to other companies. I think since like that 3-year mark, I think we've at least had 3-4 40k games a year. Some have been absolutely trash, some have been good, some have been okay, some have been average. It all depends who you speak to on certain games, but there's a big change in the shift of GW now, where the licensing team are definitely out there. They're definitely branding GW out to companies who are making games and other kind of merchandise and stuff like that. And of course this has shown in the stocks for Games Workshop as well. If you check on the latest stocks, GW, I think it's at the highest it's ever been. If I'm not mistaken, I think they made like, was it like £65 million profit or something, like last profit margin. They did this massive thing where they shared like a huge amount of profit with all the staff and stuff. So GW at the moment, with everything that it's doing differently, is definitely on the up and up. Again, some of the games we've played have been good, have been bad. The majority of them I've enjoyed. I personally enjoyed them. Space Hulk Deathwing, Battlefleet Gothic, some of my main ones I've enjoyed. I love like the atmosphere, the cinematics, everything like that. Dawn of War 3 was a massive miss in my opinion. I think it was just a complete letdown. I don't even see Dawn of War as part of the Dawn of War series. I just see it as something else. But I want a game that is actually set in the core of the 40k IP. I want something which it brings you in, it makes you play it, it connects you to a certain character you pick to play. Now I don't want it to be an MMO of some type, because I think the days of the MMO is slowly coming to an end. Now I don't mean that in a bad way, I just think that people's opinions and people's motives have basically moved on, and when you come to make an MMO, it is a lot of money invested in those kind of products, and I think that scares away some of the big companies getting involved, especially when you have to buy the license for the game you're actually making before actually building the world around the IP. Now the game I envision would be a co-op game, a co-op, you know, you and your friends. I would probably say around 4 to 8 friends. I do hate small groups like 4-man groups and stuff like that, because I always do feel like it's just too small. The bigger the groups, the better the experience I've personally found. Like when I come to do raids on certain MMOs and stuff like that, I always find like 10 people in a squad is always really fun. Again, that's just my opinion. So the way I see it, I would love a game set in a Death Watch environment where you as a person pick your character. And before you say it, yeah, I know there's been Death Watch games done before, but the way I see it is a third or first person type of game, much to like Vermintides, you know, so first person that kind of way, and much to third person, more like a bit like EC I would say, but a lot more improved than EC. And you as a character, you actually create your character, you can pick any chapter you want, or maybe there's like modding involved, so like people can add certain, you know, like sigils and all that kind of stuff. Maybe the actual game itself is funded through customization, not a pay to win, like you buy bolters which kill, you know, mobs and stuff like that. It's a pure funded through customization, just to make yourself the rule of cool. Nothing is affected that makes you a better player through buying weapons or anything like that, because I absolutely hate that kind of method. So you jump on, you create your character. Let's just say I'm going to make an executioner, and let's say when I make that executioner chapter, he has certain traits from the Dornian gene line. Maybe he's stubborn, they're very drilled Imperial Fist, so maybe they have something like an added bonus to Bolter Drill. Bolter Drill used to be something in the 7th edition where you can get, I think it was an extra shot or something, or if you roll ones you get to roll it again, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe that aura then affects everyone else in the party, so everyone gets, you know, increased accuracy or something like that. You know, along, if you have an Ultramarine, maybe it increases the aura of everyone's auras and stuff like that. If you're a Space Wolf or Blood Angel, maybe you get certain melee stuff. If you're a Salamander, maybe, you know, you get certain stuff with your Flamers or Melter Guns and stuff like that. the possibilities are basically endless when you come to, like, you know, do certain characters and what you can do with their abilities and traits and stuff, so you all mix in together and make this perfect kind of kill team squad. And when it comes to doing missions, I envision it a lot like Inquisitor Martyr. Inquisitor Martyr has some problems at the moment, but something that is bang on and which I really like is their mission system, where you have this massive galaxy and there's different levels and stuff, and you level up and you can do certain missions and stuff, like all that kind of stuff. I envision like a big wide vast galaxy, or sector, let's say, like that, where you are deployed in that sector and you do missions with your with your friends, and jump in, and you know, you can unlock certain weapons, you can find weapons, maybe there's certain bosses, rare bosses and something that like pop up, maybe there's like campaign systems which the developers will put out, maybe there's a big like Xenos threat that's happening in a certain sector, and if you take part in that campaign, if you complete missions or something like that, then you get rewards dedicated to that kind of stuff. So for example, let's just say there's like a Necron onslaught which happens, and you as a kill team are deployed to that sector, and you manage to, you know, clear it and do a job, do certain missions or something which help pushing the Necrons back. Maybe you can start unlocking stuff like so I've actually forgot what it's bloody called. There's like this like Necron blade which you can use in Deathwatch. Maybe that, you know, that is one of the traits for you to unlock that certain kind of weapon. So there's a certain RPG element I find to this game that I would like, but it's not like fully, you know, MMO where you know, you have to spend hours upon hours upon hours upon hours, you know, grinding your way to certain aspects of the game. And for those of you who do want to grind, you know, there's certain stuff that you can grind your way up to. Maybe, you know, for someone who really wants to be like that rule of cool guy, you know, the person that wants to stand out, have certain stuff like titles or weapon skins to show that you're actually dedicated to this game, and you know, you've actually dedicated a lot of time to the game. I would definitely want to have anything where if you play the game more, then, you know, you basically can unlock a weapon which can just kill everything on the mission and stuff like that. I'd rather keep it in the area of just making yourself look cool, titles, that kind of stuff, visual stuff, rather than powering your character just beyond anyone else. That is a kind of area where I like to play my games in. And on the subject of customization, I might as well just get into it now. I would love customization to be a massive part of this game. Me, as a 40k fan, customization is everything in Warhammer. Warhammer 40k, AOS, and every Warhammer has a product is basically, for me, making yourself look like a complete badass on the battlefield. That's what it's all about. You know, this guy spends, you know, months and months painting his army up just to make it look and stand out on the battlefield. Why can't that be factored in when you come and make a character? So I think customization would be a massive thing in this game of mine, where, you know, you can select different marks of armor, like even just your character itself, like his face, his hair. I would want something really, really in depth. I think it was it Age of Conan? No, I don't know. There was an MMO, I can't believe I remember its name, where you could basically go in and like just like make any kind of face or something like that. You know, you got to do these ridiculous kind of faces. I probably wouldn't go that far, but you know, like really give the player a lot of options to do like scars and maybe like eye sockets, and you know, different hair options. And just, for example, if you pick like a space wolf and stuff, you probably got to have like this matted kind of like beards and, you know, like ponytails and like this like mad hairdos like the space wolves have. Where if you go for like blood angels, it's going to be like very blonde and cropped and neat, and you know, like sparkly as bloody blood angels do. So, you know, picking a character would unlock certain different customization options for your character. And again, that could be another thing in the game which you can unlock if you do certain objectives, certain missions, spend a certain amount of hours in the game, just do any kind of certain stuff in the game, that can unlock more customization for your character. So when you play the game, you're actually playing to improve your character. So, you know, if you do like, I don't know, 100 missions, maybe you unlock some new scars, so you can show like, you know, look at all the scars on my guy's face because he's been, you know, been deployed under like over 100 missions and just like been purging all the Xenos constantly. And that goes for the armor as well. You can have you know, different brands, marks of armor, yeah, different versions of that brand of armor, some scarred, some battle damage, maybe, you know, different symbols and stuff. Deathwing had a really good customization option. I actually wish it went even more in depth, but what we have for that game is really, really good. Even Eternal Crusade has some great customization options for some of the races, but just building on that, just building and building and building on that, just so the people involved can see, like, you can actually make your character into something truly amazing, something truly that stands out on the battlefield. And I go back to my previous point, is maybe this is where, you know, the game can be kind of funded in a way where maybe like monthly they release like different customization bundles or something like that. Again, I make the point firm that this is nowhere near like to make your character more powerful on the battlefield. This is simply just to make him look through the rule of cool. I think it was Guild Wars 2 that did this. Like they had a shop where you can like unlock armor and stuff. It just applied over your armor. It gave you nothing special, so you just looked like a badass. And I think that would be a really good way to go, because it funds the game. It makes you as a character feel awesome about yourself. Look at this armor I've got, I feel amazing. People see that and go, wow, he does look amazing, I want to buy some of that as well. That money then goes back into the game, and the developers can keep producing new content, keep the game going, keep it surviving. And I think at the end of the day, everyone would be happy with that. Well, I personally would be happy. I don't know how you feel, but I think that is the best way to approach like selling stuff in a game. And with games like this, I personally think the social aspect is the key factor to keeping the game alive. Like at the moment, Inquisitor Martyr, you have a Cabal system, but the Cabal system I think is limited to like 30 to 35 people, and it's kind of kills the social aspect of the game, because I had so many people wanting to join my guild to help out, to improve it and stuff, and I basically had to turn around and just say to him, sorry mate, you can't be in my Cabal because there's no room for you. And I felt absolutely crappy saying that. So I would love like something where you can set up guilds in games. Of course, only a certain amount of people can go in missions and stuff. You can't take your full guild with you because that'd be too massively OP. But something where maybe you can set like a watch fortress. The watch fortress is like a guild, let's say, and in that, you know, you can have like, you know, call it Watch Fortress Valrakian, and in that you can, you know, basically set up your guild, and you have kill teams going from that, and they're completing missions, and then that Watch Fortress becomes renowned in the game. It starts building up, it starts leveling up, you start unlocking stuff, maybe like unlocks like stuff like customization options that we've spoke about. I would absolutely love something where you have like a Watch Fortress hall where you can all just like phase into and meet up into, maybe like banquet halls and stuff like that, because Space Marines do that. You know, they drink beer, Space Wolves anyway, and Space Marines, and they do have banquets and all that kind of stuff. And maybe you as a Watch Fortress guild can like customize that by leveling your Watch Fortress / guild up. You know, you can have like Xenos heads mounted on the wall, or certain relics from Lost Past like in stasis fields, or, you know, something really awesome which shows off that you as a community, a social community, are playing this game to a certain degree where you're just absolutely badasses and you just want to show it off and you want to celebrate that all together, and just have these little social events. I think that would be really, really awesome. Social aspects in games are one of the massive things to me, and that's what I feel where some 40k games have been missing out recently, is that the community around them, they're not connected in any way. It's like you just go in, you play the game, and then you're out and stuff like that. So I really think if you keep that social aspect within the game, I think that would really improve it. And I would love something where you can have like a kind of a PvP mode between you and other Watch Fortresses, where maybe there's certain missions where you go on, but there's also another Watch Fortress or another kill team deployed on that mission. Probably not in the same instance, because that may get a bit tricky, but you're both being timed, and it's the fastest kill team to complete it, and you know, kill as much as they can, or maybe get as many points as you can on that mission and stuff like that. So it really, you know, puts kill teams against each other, so you can actually see who the best kill teams, even though you have like this massive Watch Fortress full of kill team members. Maybe this small kill team which has like this small Watch Fortress which has like 15 members are better than you, because their kill teams in there are beating you on every mission, and that, you know, gets put up on like a leaderboard table and something like that. So it's not always about having mass numbers. It's about the people, the individuals that you have in those kill teams, and how much skill they actually have, and how fast and how much they can purge in missions and stuff like that. I think that's probably the best way to go down the PvP option. I probably wouldn't do anything like kill team versus kill team, because I think that could be a bit law breaking. Maybe you can probably do something like cages, like, you know, the cages where it's you know, non-violent. Well, I say non-violence, non-killing, but, you know, more like just maybe knockout or something like that. But I prefer it where, you know, you actually put against each other, purging the actual Xenos threat rather than purging each other. Quickly, just before I end the video, I just want to talk about the social aspects. I know I just spoke about like the Watch Fortress and stuff like that, but I think a really big part of 40k games is the development, the developers interacting with the community. Now, there's been certain games which I've been a part of for like since the start, and they had a community manager. And they just weren't involved really in the community. They were more or less they just was spotted on a stream every now and then, posting every now and then on forums and stuff like that. I think it's really, really vital that people who are a part of the development team interact with the community they're producing the game for as much as possible, to get a feel of how people are feeling about certain aspects, just to show their face, and maybe like do weekly events or weekly stuff to keep the community going. Because once someone sees the interaction between a developer and a community, people see that, okay, these people care about this product, you know, they care about how we feel about it, you know, and that brings people, well, I personally think that brings me closer to the game, because I see the people who are making it are supporting their product even though it's been launched, and that is a really, really huge factor for me. So if this game did ever get picked up, which I probably will never do, and a company does come in, please developers or someone who's ever going to make this, well, if you're going to make it, please keep that momentum going with the community, interact with the community, just speak to the community. I know it can be kind of toxic sometimes. I'm not denying that at all. The 40k community can be diarrhea on multiple levels, but if you show that dedication, if you show that connection to the community, I guarantee you that you'll absolutely get a great reaction, and people will support you and keep playing your game. Alright chaps, that's me done. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I just want to sit down and make this, because I really want like a game that is made for 40k fans. Well, for my aspect, which I see it as. I know people, I want an Eldar game, I want a Tau game. Of course, you're allowed to have those, you know, if you're a fan of that. But for me, as an Imperium fanboy, you know, I really do feel like a game like this, for me, would just keep me glued to the screen. It would just keep me going and going and going and purging for endless hours, years, everything. I'd probably just die at my computer playing this game. That's how awesome it would actually be. If you've got any ideas about how you would want your perfect game or anything like that, post them below in the comment section. I'm going to email this video to the licensing team at GW. I probably get no response for it at all, but I'm just going to try it. Screw it. I'm just going to set it out there and say, hey, if anyone's interested, could you set forward this to any companies that are looking to make 40k games? Maybe someone will pick it up. You know, he who dares wins, let's say. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And like I said, make sure you leave your comments and stuff like that down. I'd love to hear your pitches and stuff like that. Thank you. I hope you have a great day, and I shall see you all very, very soon. See you now, and bye-bye.